Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I want to confirm that everybody in the forum here can hear me properly.
Yes, I can hear you.
Awesome.
I can hear you.
Okay. Good evening, everybody, once again, and you're all welcome to day 3 of our African Digital Conference. It's been an incredible journey so far, filled with insightful discussions and groundbreaking ideas that push the boundaries of digital innovation across Africa. We've had amazing speakers from day one up till through yesterday, the second day. And today I have the honor of chairing this session. And I look forward to guiding us through thought-provoking conversations that will shape the future, together with every speaker that we've been blessed to be graced with. Thanks to the Talita Group Corporation, Talita Group Foundation, and the other sponsors who have made this event possible. So just to say, as we continue to learn, connect, and inspire one another, because the future of digital transformation starts with us. Thank you, and let's begin. This is African Digital Conference Day 3, and we'll be starting off right away with the first speaker of the day, who is no other than Georgina and Nicole Ijachi. We are thrilled to welcome her to this session because it's an honor, unlike to every other speaker. Georgina is a brand ambassador, public speaker, and leadership coach dedicated to empowering individuals and businesses in building strong brands. She has worked with NIDA's 3MTT program in Sokoto State, Nigeria, helping young talents thrive in the digital space. As a product manager coach, she has trained over 300 professionals, equipping them with cutting-edge branding and product positioning strategies with experience as the assistant project manager at Startup Sokoto and business development officer at Horizon Hub. Georgina has played a key role in guiding startups towards success. Beyond business, she leads Audible Voices International, mentoring young leaders in public speaking and capacity development. She's also a TEDx SSU 2023 speaker. She has won multiple public speaking conversations, demanding her expertise in branding, communication, and leadership. So today, Georgina is going to be speaking to us, bringing some insights as far as branding across Africa is concerned. So join me as we welcome our first speaker, who is no other than but Georgina Ijachi from Nigeria. Madam Ijachi, are you there?
All right, good evening, everyone. Thank you very much, Mr. Derick. Please, can someone confirm if I'm audible enough? Am I audible, please?
Yes, you are audible.
Good evening.
Yes.
Good
we can hear
evening,
you. Go ahead,
Ijachi. I
please.
can hear you.
All right, thank you very much. I believe I'm audible enough. And can you all see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen, please.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Derek, for that one bio. First and foremost, I want to say thank you each and every one of you for being here. Thank you for making our time to be in this conference, and I believe we are gaining value for our time. All right, so I'll be going straight. My bio has already been read, sorry. So I'll be going straight to what I will be speaking on tonight, which is the art of personal branding, how public speaking and storytelling shape a strong digital brand. Are we together? Okay, Mr. Derek, please do well too. If at any point in time you lost me, please let me know.
We are
Is that
together.
okay? All right, thank you very much. So speaking on the art of personal branding and how public speaking and storytelling shape a stronger digital brand in our world today, we're going to be doing justice to this tonight. So the first thing that actually comes to our mind when we hear when your voice is more than when we hear digital branding or personal branding, I believe people tend to like, oh, what does this mean? What does digital branding entails? Or what does personal branding entails? So tonight I'm going to be doing justice to what this entails and how we can inculcate the art of public speaking and storytelling to shape a stronger digital brand. So I believe we all know that our voice is more than just sounds, it's more than just the message, it's more than just the story, and we can actually equate that our voice is our personal power. So in a world where attention is currency, just as like I have in my slide here, I said in a world where attention is currency, your ability to connect emotionally through speech and narrative is what sets you apart as far as personal branding is concerned. So tonight, very quickly, what are some of the objectives of tonight's section? Now, there are four basic objectives which I'm going to be doing justice to this time as far as tonight is concerned. Now, firstly, I'm going to make us understand what personal branding truly means, like personal branding beyond the logos and colors we know, because I believe once we hear personal branding, the first thing that comes into our mind is, oh, my logo, my company logos, the color that actually make up, excuse me, the colors that make up what my brand entails and all that. So personal branding is just more than that. So tonight, firstly, I'm going to teach us how we can understand what personal branding truly means. Second objective, we're going to recognize the power of public speaking in establishing authority and visibility as far as branding is concerned. Thirdly, we're going to learn how to use the art of storytelling to emotionally connect with our audience and make our brand memorable. Fourthly, and last but not the least, I'm going to talk about how to discover, how to show up consistently online, utilizing the digital, the social media sphere, and how we can use our voice and story to build trust in our world today. Mr. Derek, am I audible enough?
Yes, you can do better.
All right, thank you very much. I think I should do better. Thank you. All right, so what is personal branding? The first thing that comes to most people's mind when we talk about branding is, oh, what I do, the business I do. Now, it is one thing for you to have a business. It is another thing for you to build your brand. It is another thing for you to know that, yes, my brand is my personal identity. So when people hear personal branding, they also think it's more artistic. It's all about the logos, the fonts, the colors that make up what their businesses is all about. But at the core of it, personal branding is how people experience who you are. Personal branding is how it talks about your story. It is a story that tells about you when you are not in the room. Now, very quickly, Mr. Derrick was actually talking about my bio. you just now, it's like, oh, she has done this, she has done that, she has done this. So if I am not in this fair tonight, personal branding, I've been able to build a brand for myself that you will know that, okay, when the name Georgina is being said in a particular sphere, you should know that, yes, this is her brand. So when we talk about personal brand, it's not just all about the logos, the fonts, the colors and makeup of what your businesses entails. So it is a story they tell about you when you are not in the room. What does people actually, what reputation does actually does your identity represent when it comes to personal branding? So in a very short term, we can say personal branding is a story people tell about you, about a particular person when you are not around. That does not mean you must not actually be around, because I am in this conference and then Mr. Derick just read my bio, right? So personal branding is what people know you to be. Now, when we talk about personal branding has a whole lot of things that actually entails. It has a whole lot of things that it entails. But there are three core keys that personal branding entails. Now, the first I have here, I say your voice, your value, and your visibility. Your voice, your values, and your visibility. I said before, I literally like telling people that if you are a business owner in this digital sphere, this digital age we are, you're actually looking for a problem, and then you should look for a problem, sorry, and then you should look for a solution that can actually solve that problem in the society. So when it comes about personal branding is built on three key things, which are your voice, your values, and your visibility. Now, what your voice entails here is what you say and how authentic you say what you say and how authentic you say it, how truthful, how factual is what you say and what you say. Secondly, personal branding is also built on the key of values. What are your values? What do you stand for? What are you known for in the society? What actually, if people say, oh, Mr. Derick, what does your name rings? What is the first thing that comes into people's mind whenever they hear your name? As a reputation, your value, what do you stand for in the society? Then thirdly, your visibility. How consistently and authentic do you show up? Do you just show up once in a while in terms of your branding? Do you just show up once in a week? Do you just show up annually? Do you just show up once in a year? So your visibility as far as personal branding is concerned is very, very pivotal. So these are the three keys that personal branding is built upon. These are more like, excuse me, these are more like the foundation, the cornerstone which personal brandings are built upon your voice, your values, and your visibility. Sorry, am I audible enough?
Yes, you are audible.
All right, thank you. So I say think of this way. Your brand is your promise. Your story is your proof. So as we move forward, keep this in mind that your brand is your promise. You are promising somebody, you're promising a group of people in the society that, okay, this is my brand, which is your promise. Now, this is your story. Your story entails the proof. And then you say, oh, so as we move forward, you have a brand, you have a story to tell. So they are more like your brand and storytelling are more like two sides of a coin that cannot be separated from each other. So you don't just have to build a brand, you have to become a brand. Why? You have to become a brand in the sense that when people talk about this particular brand of yours, the first thing that comes into their mind, when people call your name, the first thing that comes into their mind before they know that, oh, she's a female, she's a male, the first thing that comes into their mind is your brand. It's your brand. So I said, think of it this: your brand is your promise, your story is your proof. So as we move forward, don't forget these two things. Keep it in mind. You don't just need to build alone, you just have to become what your brand ought to be. So very quickly, why do our voice and story matters when it comes to personal branding in this digital sphere? Why do our voices and our story matter? Like I said before, I said your brand is you. Yes. Your brand is you because you are the one who actually is being represented by a particular brand. So if your brand is you, what do you need to do? You have to speak it. You have to live it. You have to share it. So it is one thing for you to have a brand. It is another thing for you to speak about your brand. And there is another thing for you to live it. It is another thing for you to share. So you see, these 4 keys are more like the 3 sides of a rectangle that cannot be separated from each other. So your brand is you speak your brand, you live your brand, you share it. So you are a brand. So this is why your voice and story matters as far as personal branding is concerned. Now let's go to your voice as far as personal branding is concerned. What I have here, I said your voice is how you position yourself. So you have a brand, beautiful, but how do you position yourself? How do you utilize the digital sphere to actually position yourself to become a better version of yourself in that particular brand? So your voice is how you position yourself. It reflects your confidence, your clarity, and your credibility. I call it the three C's: your confidence, your clarity, and your credibility. Whether you are on stage, whether you're on social media, whether you are in a room, you're in a conference, you are in a building where decisions are being made, where policies are made, your voice is how you position yourself, and then it should reflect your confidence and clarity. So your voice tells people what to expect when they hear from you. Your voice tells people what to expect. Just like I said that your brand is your reputation. So the first thing that should come to your mind, for example, when you hear the name Georgina Ijachi, it should be like, oh, she's a public speaker. She's a debater. She's a writer. So that is where your brand, your voice comes in as far as branding is concerned. And then your story. Now I'm talking about voice and your story here because they are more like the basic to which your personal branding is built upon. So your story here, I said it makes you relatable. People don't just connect with perfection, they connect with authenticity. When you share your challenges, your lessons, and your wins, you're not just marketing yourself, you are humanizing your brand. For example, few years ago, I was invited for a speaking event, and actually, literally, what I do, I love the art of storytelling. So one of the ways I can actually use to actually capture my audience is through storytelling, right? So somebody would tell you that, oh, when it comes to Georgina Ijachi, she's used to storytelling. She uses the art of storytelling to actually captivate people's attention. So you see, but what I don't know is I have a story, I have gone through something, and I'm thinking of how I can use my story to impact the world today. So you see that your story makes you relatable. People don't just connect with perfections, okay? They connect with your authenticity. How well, if you've gone through this, how well do you inculcate this into your life? And then making yourself a better version, and then people learn from it. Like I said before, I said people buy stories before they buy products or services. And very quickly, we are going to dive into how you can use the art of public speaking and storytelling to actually project a better brand in the digital world today. So you see, people buy stories before they even buy products or services. And in the digital world, your voice and story are more like currency here. So this digital world, your voice and your story, as far as personal branding is concerned, they are very, very important. They are very, very pivotal to ensure that your personal branding is at its peak. Mr. Derick, am I audible enough?
Very good.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, so tonight we are diving into the major thing we have for tonight, the role of public speaking in branding. The role of public speaking in branding. Okay, so when we talk about public speaking, it's not just an option here. Public speaking is no longer optional for brand builders. It is a necessity. So I usually tell my friends, I say, if you are a doctor, you are an engineer, the art of public speaking should be a culture that you should imbibe as far as you are in this 21st century. Why? Because public speaking is no longer optional. It is a necessity to ensure that your visibility, your brand is actually at its peak. So public speaking is no longer optional for brand builders. It is a necessity. So whether you are on a physical stage, a webinar, a podcast, or even a live session on Instagram, LinkedIn.
Madam Ijachi?
Yes, sir.
Please kindly check your slides. You're still sharing the first slide.
Sorry. Now?
You should check it. Just go to the share button and so that we can be to follow up. I don't know if.
All right. Okay. Can you see me now?
You have to bring up your slides again.
All right. It's fine then. All right. Is it okay, Mr. Derick? Mr. Derick?
Get us on the share button.
Yeah, it's already sharing from my end.
Check the bottom left of your screen, just where you have the screen minimizer. You will see the option to share is just below. Yes, a little bit in front. I can see your mouse.
Okay, here, right?
Come a little bit just after where you have the screen minimizer.
But were you seeing my screen now?
Okay. The problem is that we were unable to follow up on the slides. You can continue, please.
Okay, but can you see my slide now?
Yes, we are good.
Okay. It's okay now.
Can you see the role of public? Oh, all right. All right, thank you. All right, so the role of public speaking in branding. And I said, public speaking is no longer optional for brand builders. It is a necessity. So whether you are on a stage, whether you're on a podcast, in a live session, your ability to speak effectively determines how people perceive your expertise in a particular field. So you see that whether you're a doctor, you're a teacher, you're a nurse, you just have to imbibe this culture of public speaking as far as what you do is concerned. So in this 21st century, the role of public speaking cannot be underestimated. It is very, very pivotal as far as the digital sphere is concerned. So how public speaking fuels your brand? How do we utilize public speaking? How does public speaking help to fuel your brand? Number one, I said it connects authentically with your audience. How do I say this? Public speaking, how does it fuel your brand as far as branding is concerned? It helps to connect authentically with your audience. For example, I have a personal brand, and then I am utilizing the art of public speaking to project what I sell, or probably, for example, I'm a writer and I write an autobiography, and then I tell people, oh, this book was written based on the inspiration I had while growing up as a teenager. So it makes people, that resonates, it makes people to know that, oh, really, if this book was written while she was a teenager, this is born out of personal experiences. So it becomes so authentic that people can connect with me. So you see that public speaking fuels your brand. It helps your brand. It's more like a catalyst when it comes to branding. Secondly, credibility. Speaking position you as a thoughtful leader. Now, when you have the ability to speak, it is one thing for you to have a brand. It is another thing for you to project your brand to the society. It is another thing for you to project your brand to a particular sphere of audience to say, oh, this is what I do. But if you lack the art of public speaking, utilizing the storytelling tool, how will you project what you do as a brand to your audience? So speaking position you as a thoughtful leader. How? You being thoughtful in what you do, you being thoughtful on how to lead a team as far as your branding is concerned. Connection. Now, we like taking it bit by bit. Like these are things that public speaking can actually ensure we do. So when it comes to connection, here I mean nothing more than your tone, your presence, how you deliver or harmonize your message. For example, you have a personal brand and you intend to, oh, let me project. For example, you're pitching a personal brand to a group of audience. How do you make use of your tone, the rising and falling tone? How does your presence depict what you stand for? How do you deliver your message? How is it persuasive? Is it descriptive? You be persuasive, for example, oh, there's this particular advert that I think companies use that very well. Companies use the art of persuasion when it comes to advertising their products for people to actually for it to resonate with people that they tend to be very, very persuasive, telling you the urgency of now, oh, get this while this lasts, why the promo lasts. Promo lasts from now till the 20th of April, and after that it goes back to being sold for 100%. So you see the urgency in it when people use persuasive tone and to actually persuade people to, oh, buy my product. This product just came into the market and it goes for this, it goes for that. So you see, it links the connection. The persuasive art of actually projecting your brand is another thing. So you see the connection, your tone, your presence on how you deliver, it actually helps to humanize your message to people, for people to listen. Mr. Derick, am I audible enough, please?
Yes, go ahead, please.
All right, thank you. So let's look at visibility. Let's look at visibility. Every time you speak about your brand, you multiply your reach. Every time you speak about your brand, you multiply your reach. For example, I might be in a conference, for example, a physical conference, and I say, oh, my name is Miss Georgina. I am a lecturer, or I am an educator, I am a writer. Probably somebody might not reach out to me exactly then. But when there's a recommendation that, oh, do you know somebody who is a writer? Because I need somebody to come, okay, do a seminar training on what it takes to be a writer or a writing challenge. I might not be there, but the fact that I spoke about my brand, somebody might actually refer me. So you see, every time you speak about your brand, it brings about visibility. And let me be blatant here. It might not mean that it must be direct, either directly or indirectly. It might come from a point, a perspective where somebody you don't even know. It might not be direct, it might not be immediately, it might be futuristic about it. So speaking about your brand to gain visibility is very, very important. And sometimes when you speak about your brand, it might not just be now. It might not just be a thing of urgency. Okay, oh, because I speak about my brand, I'm expecting this particular person to actually come patronize me. Sometimes it doesn't work that way. But will I say you should give up on speaking about your brand? No. It's a continuous process. So every time you speak, you multiply your reach. Now let's look at opportunity. Talking about opportunity here, when you speak about your brand, it brings about visibility, right? It also brings about opportunity. As a speaker, you attract collaboration for you to network with people, clients, and career breakthroughs. Now, when you speak about your brand, okay, a few days ago, I had to join a group where some of the organizers actually created for people to collaborate and network, and like, oh, so it's actually a great platform where people can actually collaborate, meet with each other to network, right? So this is more like an opportunity, and opportunity comes in circles. Opportunity doesn't come every now and then. It might come this time, it might not come again. So opportunity come in circles. So when you have opportunity to speak about a brand, about your personal branding, please do. When you have opportunity to speak about your business in this digital era, please do. Utilize the opportunity to speak. So if you are a speaker, for example, the art of public speaking, and then you actually scale up your A game on being a public speaker, it is good because it helps you to collaborate. It helps you to network with people, and then it helps for career advancement. Mr. Derick, I hope you can still see my slide.
We are good.
All right, thank you very much. So you see, you don't have to be the loudest voice, just the clearest. You just have to be clear enough. You just have to be clear. Whatever you're speaking about, you have a personal brand, you're talking about your branding. It mustn't be, you must be the loudest. For example, in the room, maybe you have 100 persons, and then you're like, oh, I just want to make people feel that, yes, my voice can be heard very well. Yes, your voice can be heard, but your voice being heard is different from you being clarified. For people having clarity about your brand. So you just have to be intentional about what you speak, how you speak. So you have to speak with purpose. So you speak with poise and you watch how doors open, not just because of what you can do, but because of how you speak about it, because of how intentional you are about your branding, your personal branding. So speaking is good, but you have to be intentional when it comes to branding. I'm trying to see because of my time. All right. So storytelling as a branding tool. What is actually the role of storytelling when it comes to branding? Storytelling, like I said before, I think I hit a hint that, yeah, your voice, the art of storytelling, they're very, very powerful tool when it comes to branding. There are tools that you can use that your brand will actually move upfront. So people don't just remember facts, they remember stories, especially the ones that move them. So one of the ways you see that your brand can actually move faster when it comes to your personal branding is using the art of storytelling, public speaking, and storytelling. Now, storytelling is more like it comes under the art of public speaking. It's more like just one of the two among so many that are catchy enough that people can actually use to actually tell, okay, this is what my brand entails. People don't remember facts very well. They remember your stories, especially the ones that move them. For example, I can give you a story about you, about myself, and like, oh, this is what I went through as a teenager. And people like, wow. So tomorrow you might forget who I am. You might forget the name Georgina. You might forget about if I'm a female, I'm a male, where I come from, my continent, my country. But the fact that the story I use to actually project to you about my brand, it will still stick there. So you see that the art of storytelling is very, very pivotal as far as branding is concerned. And this is what people, businessmen and women like you and I, are using to upscale their businesses. Storytelling has a whole lot of advantages, and that is why you see most companies uses the art of storytelling when it comes to detergent, when it comes to clothing, when it comes to baby shoes, toys, and whatever. They use storytelling to actually help to get to their audience. Why? Because storytelling helps your audiences in different ways. How does storytelling help our audiences? Let's go there. Understanding your why. Understanding your why. Now, when we talk about storytelling here, it helps to understand why you started something. Why you started. By clarifying your purpose. For example, you want to utilize the essence, the art of storytelling to actually project to your audiences. It helps to understand your why. How? By clarifying your purpose, you frame your mission in a way that is more relatable, and it should be able to inspire action through reviewed motivations. How will it inspire actions? I give us an example of how people can talk about, oh, we are selling this, it goes for this particular amount of money, but because you're coming for this now, we're going to be projecting you, we're going to give you 50% discounts. And sometimes it has to, oh, this is a promo going for this and that. So why don't I just utilize this opportunity to actually make this, to get this particular product? And people sell. So you see that by clarifying your purpose, for example, you're using the art of storytelling, for example, to advertise your personal branding, is very, very pivotal and it's very, very helpful. So you see, people, like I said before, I said people don't connect with perfection, they connect with authenticity. So when you share your stories, it helps to clarify the purpose of why you started a thing. Mr. Derick, am I audible now?
Yes, you are.
Thank you very much. So Secondly, we say connect with your humanity. Connect humanity by showing how vulnerability, creating empathy through shared experiences, and breaking down barriers between speakers and listeners. For example, 2 years ago, I attended a program and the lady mounted the podium and she started with a storytelling how she was able to growing up as a child, what she has gone through, how she was able to scale through when her mother and her father got divorced. This happened and this happened, but she never gave up. Now, what did he do? People tend to like, oh, this lady is still surviving this because she has that. She might be vulnerable in telling her story, or back then she was, but right now she's not. But people see the authenticity in what she was saying. People were able to actually say, oh, what this person is saying, it resonates with what I've gone through before. So connecting with people, storytelling helps your audience not just to understand why, it helps to connect with them with humanity, and then thirdly, it helps people to trust your message. By how? By illustrating points with real world examples. In our world today, people actually lack access to real world examples, especially through storytelling, forgetting the fact that right from the primitive days, we are used to the oral way of storytelling and now move to the digital era. But still, people still utilize the art of storytelling to connect real world examples. How? In order to reinforce key ideas through emotional resonance and demonstrate tangible impact. Now, this impact can just be from different perspectives. Are we together? I hope I'm audible enough.
Yes, please go ahead.
Oh, all right. Thank you very much. So, tips for effective storytelling. How do we make effective story? These are just a few tips. Number one, I say start with a real moment. Start with a real moment. It can be a challenge, a turning point, or a lesson. It doesn't mean you just have to be perfect in utilizing the art of storytelling. Your story might not be perfect when building a personal brand. It can be a challenge, it can be a turning point, it can be a lesson for people to actually learn from. But using it to build a personal branding, it goes a long way to show how authentic and factual you are. So start with a real moment. Two, be vulnerable but valuable. I think I made mention of that before. Share your truth, but always tie it and then back it up with lessons. Oh, this is what happened. This was what I learned from it, and this is how it's been helpful. Three, end with a clear takeaway. What do you want them to remember, feel, or do? What do you want people to remember you for when using the art of storytelling to actually project or build your personal brand? What do you want them to remember? Is it that you want them to remember that, oh, you growing up as a child, you actually had obstacles and then you were able to overcome them? Or would you want to be like, oh, it's a tragic one, it's a comic one, and all that? So what do you want them to remember or feel or do? So end with a clear takeaway. Now, let's look at the digital presence and visibility here. You just have to show up or fade out. So in today's world, if you don't just exist online, you just have to find a way to exist online. You barely exist online. You expect your business to actually move upward. So your digital presence is more like your 24/7 branding. It's your booth that people looks at it daily, even while you are asleep, even when you're not speaking, even when you might not be online. You can have programs, you can have a branding, and then Facebook will actually recommend your brand to someone else. You might not be there. So you just really have to know how to utilize the digital sphere to up your A game when it comes to you gaining visibility and all of that. Now, here is what a strong digital brand includes. Number one, consistency. Number two, your content. Number three, your engagement. And number four, your positioning. Now, this is more like very, very simple to the core. Consistency. For example, if I log into your bio, for example, on social media, what does it talk to me about? What does your branding talk? What's your bio? What does your photo depict? What's the tone of your message? Does it align from one platform to another? Does it mean that, okay, what you do across Facebook, what you do on Facebook is actually linked to what you do on Instagram or LinkedIn? You see some people today having a social media handle, their Facebook is saying something different from what their TikTok is saying, and their TikTok is saying something from what their Instagram is saying. So you just have to know one, find a niche and be consistent in it as far as personal branding is concerned. So let's look at content. What you share online should actually reflect your expertise in a particular field or your personality. Your content today, you talk about relationship, and then next tomorrow, you talk about small business owners. Yeah, there's a way it's more like interconnected, but you just have to find a niche, be consistent in it, and make sure that what you do when it comes to personal branding cut across this in you being consistent, and then your content depicts what your niche entails. Now, thirdly, your engagement. You just have to find a way to show up in your comments, in your DMs, your live sessions and community space. I've seen people who have a community, and when the question is being thrown up, you see that there are nobody to even reply. Why? So these are little things that count when it comes to personal branding. Now, four, you just have to talk about let's talk about your positioning. How do you align your voice and visuals with the audience you want to attract? Why people actually have their visuals that actually particular, that depict a particular niche? How does your branding, how does it depict your niche? How does your niche depict your branding? How do you align your voice and your visuals to the audience that you want to attract? Remember, you also have to have a particular audience that you intend to actually project your brand to. Now, these are just a few steps which I've actually compiled to, I say, steps to crafting a compelling personal brand. They are very, very, very simple as far as concerned. Number one, I said, yeah, your personal brand is how people experience you, whether you're in the room or you are not. I believe I did justice to this very, very well. Now, when we look at the foundational steps to crafting your brand, you just have to define. This is more like it equates the few instances I've made before. When you define your core message, what do you want to be known for? What are the unique promise? What are the unique value? What are the promises you are giving to the society as far as your personal brand is concerned? Are you being consistent about it? Who are your audience? Who are you speaking to? Now, you cannot have a brand without knowing a particular audience. Have a targeted audience that you know that, yes, your branding should actually provide solutions to. What do they need from you emotionally, intellectually, or professionally? You need to craft your visual identity. Choose a color, your photos, your font, and how you know that, oh, when these people see it, the first thing that comes to them, okay, this is who this person is. And then learn to build your online voice. Be consistent with your tone, your captions, your videos, and your hashtags. Now, these are things that actually help you to get more visibility as far as branding is concerned. And then package your story. Why? Because your journey is your power. It actually helps to shape how you introduce yourself, how you pitch, or even how you post. So you see somebody, you say, oh, this is what I do, but that does not mean I don't have a personal niche I actually have. But what are you known for? It is better for you to have a brand where people know you for a particular thing, and then you have a targeted audience than you being here, and there. So you have to package your story. So these are more like the 5 foundational steps to craft your brand, your personal brand. Now, these are just a few common mistakes people make when it comes to personal branding. Common branding mistakes that people make. Number one, I say clarity, lack of clarity, inconsistency, copying others. Now let's look at how lack of clarity here. If you can't describe your brand in 1 or 2 sentences, neither can your audience. So if you're finding it very, very difficult to discuss, to define your brand, then how would your audience do that? Inconsistency, I've done a whole lot about this. I say changing your tone, your colors, or your message too often confuse people. Today you are known for this, tomorrow you are known for another thing. Copying others, this is one of the things that actually affects people when it comes to personal branding. Inspiration is good. Imitating makes you forgettable. It is good for you to inspire people. It is good for you to have mentors. But imitating your mentors the way exact, I'm not saying it's bad for you to have mentors in a particular niche or when you're branding. But imitating everything that has to do with them, it makes people to forget you. So your brand should actually reflect your voice. You should just have a particular unique thing that people know you for. And then oversharing and undersharing. Some people talk a whole lot. I am not saying it's bad for you to share more about what you do, your niche. So when you're actually utilizing the art of public speaking and story sharing here, share some. Sharing too much, there's something we call maxims of quality and maxims of quantity. Maxims of quantity is know what to share at a particular period of time. And the maximum of quality is it should be factual enough. And then don't learn not to ignore feedback. Your brand lives in the mind of your audience. Listen to what your audiences are saying. Learn and adjust when necessary time takes. So these are common mistakes that people have when it comes to common branding. When it comes to branding, these are common branding mistakes that people should avoid. Mr. Derrick, I hope, are we still there?
Yes, I think we are 2 minutes already out of time.
All right, thank you very much. So tonight, this is more like a call to action. Like I said before, you start with clarity, know who you are, what you stand for, and what sets you apart. Use your voice to speak. Tell your story in the way you can and show up in digital space consistently. Be authentic. Your brand should be a true reflection of who you are, not just who you want to be. Should be a reflection of who you are and not just who you want to be. And number 4, take action today, whether it's updating your LinkedIn, your Facebook, your Instagram, record a short video or drafting your personal brand statement. You just have to find a way to take the first step. Thank you very much for having me. Because of our time, I think this is the last slide. I said
Wow.
Yeah, the word needs your voice. Your brands need to be heard. So go out there and speak it into existence. Thank you very much for having me.
Congratulations once again, Madam Ijachi. It's a pleasure to have you. I hope everyone else is, I hope that you guys are taking notes. Your brand should be a true reflection of who you are and not just who you want to be. That said, the speakers' information will be shared at the end of the session so that every one of you can connect with them on the different social media platforms. We'll be moving straight into bringing up our next speaker, who is no other than Madam Winniefred, Frederica Gbemuotor. Sorry if I don't pronounce your name rightly. Winniefred is also known as Winnie, and she is a talented communications professional and graphics designer with a passion for helping Ghanaian startups develop strong brand identities that resonate with their target audience. Through her expertise in social media-focused branding and compelling storytelling, Winnie empowers businesses to stand out in competitive markets and create lasting visibility. Winnie has a rich background, having worked in IT support, served as a social media lead, and been a discussant at notable national and international conferences. Her diverse experience gives her a unique ability to bridge technology with creative communication strategies, making her an invaluable asset to startup and growing businesses. Her approach is centered on the idea that it is the little details that are vital. Little things make big things happen, a quote by John Warden that perfectly encapsulates her meticulous attention to detail and dedication to crafting impactful brand experiences. So Winnie specializes in creating brand identities that truly connect with audiences and elevate businesses. She is especially passionate about working with small, medium enterprises and volunteering with non-profit organizations where she can make a difference by empowering others with the skills needed to succeed in the digital world. So we are blessed to have Winnie come on the African Digital Conference. Today she'll be sharing some insights on how branding, storytelling, and social media play pivotal roles in helping startups achieve their goals and thrive in today's digital economy across Africa. So wait, if you're excited, I want to see you drop a 1 in the chat as we welcome Madam Winnie Frederica. Are you there?
Hello, Mr. Derick. I am very, very present.
You're welcome. I think
Thank
everybody
you
we can
very
hear you
much.
properly.
Hi, can everyone see me? I just heard you butcher my name. Thank you very much for introducing me. I am very glad to be here. It's a great privilege to be with you all, and I hope we are able to have an incredible time together. So, I was really imparted by the discussion we just had by Ms. Georgina. Thank you very much for your time. And she's talked a lot about um, storytelling. She's spoken so much about credibility, building credibility, having your brand out there. Today, I'm going to uh, answer the why about branding, the why about branding, and the why in the sense that we do so many things. We have so many visuals. We have so many beautiful logos. We have a lot of beautiful colors that we use in our brand, but for the most part, we do not know why. And that is the psychology behind branding. The psychology behind branding. Um, Three things are there that you must understand when you are building a brand on social media. First of all, you need to understand the psychology of branding. Secondly, you need to understand the psychology behind social media users' behavior. And then you'll be able to merge both of them to have an impactful brand on social media. And these are some of the things that have really helped startups on in the African scene. Let me start with the psychology of branding. You know, people do not just buy products just because they want to buy. They do not just follow people on social media because they want to follow. No, not exactly. They follow because they identify with what this person is selling. They identify with what this person is saying. Look at I for one. You may have seen the flyer for today's event. You've seen I have a yellow suit on there. You may have seen my profile picture for this meeting. You would have seen the same picture on there. And as I speak, you see the same suit on here. So in your mind, you have it that, oh, so this is the lady with the yellow suit. So even today, if you don't remember many things from what I'm going to speak about, you remember that, oh, a lady with a yellow suit came to speak to us. That is the psychology of branding. And it would interest you to know that we've heard so many things about creating content, scheduling your content, having this type of content, having this type of content. What if when people are asleep, they even think about your content? Let me use iPhone, for example. When a new iPhone is released, some people are so excited that even when they go to sleep, they dream about having a brand new iPhone. That is the effect that that brand has had on that consumer. That is the effect that you can have on social media as a brand, as a startup. Okay. And so you need to understand that people buy identities, people follow identities, not just the product. No, they identify with the class that this product is going to bring to them. In Ghana, funerals are a big thing. And for some, or for many, people go to funerals because they want to find a spouse. That is the brand that the funeral has. That is the aspect of that brand that the funeral has had on a person, on that person. You know, isn't that hilarious? That is what this person has had in their mind. And also, you need to understand that people are emotional beings. People are emotional beings. So when you are creating a brand, you need to touch on the emotion of this person. You need to make sure that you are appealing to the emotion of this person. If you are creating a brand on social media and you are creating it for children, you cannot send across brand messages which are targeted for grown-ups, people between the ages of 25 to 50. You need to tailor your messages, your colors, so that they appeal to the kids. They appeal to their colors. Kids like flashy things. Kids like having fun. So you need to ensure that you are appealing to those things that they want. And one thing about psychology is effects. You would hear that, oh, there is this effect. There is that effect. Psychology is about having influence, having an effect on a person, affecting the person's behavior. And there is this effect in branding, which is called the mere exposure effect. And I love that Miss Georgina has spoken showing up, about showing up consistently. The mere exposure effect is probably a word you will not remember, but what you should remember is that the more you show up, the more people trust your brand. You will go to another country, you will go to a restaurant, you will see their menu, and you will go through the menu. You won't see anything you recall, but you will see eba somewhere, or you will see gari, and that will be like, you'll be like, oh yes, I know eba, I know gari from my country, so I will go for gari. I'll just have eba, I won't have the other things. That is the effect that the gari brand has had on you. You know, that is one thing that you need to understand. Gary has shown up consistently. Gary has shown up for people who don't have so much money, for children, for people who have money. Gary is a delicacy, you know. So showing up consistently has helped it to build trust. And that is something that you need to consider when you are building a brand on social media. Another thing that you need to do when you are building a brand on social media, considering the psychological aspect, is triggers. People are triggered by things. People are triggered by certain things. If you want someone to take an action, you need to trigger the person to do a certain thing. When there is trauma, you may have heard of trauma response, or someone being triggered by a certain trauma. Someone sees something, the person is triggered. You can do the same thing when you are creating content. How? Color psychology. And I've spoken a little about this. Color psychology. You see me, I'm in yellow. The lady in yellow. Color psychology. When I tell you Sabinus, you remember someone with, for those who know him, you see someone with a blue long sleeve and a black tie. Color psychology. When I tell you about eco-friendly, you close your eyes and you see green. Color psychology. When you are creating your brand, you need to consider the colors that you are using. Why? Because they have an effect on people. And if you are starting up, you need to be very strategic about choosing a color for your brand. Another thing is storytelling. Let me tell you a very short story. One day, people were sitting in their office on a hot afternoon, and all of a sudden, what we could see is a skyscraper, people going, running towards their window, breaking out of their window, and all of a sudden they start flying. That's so strange, isn't it? They start flying, and we see that the people start flying towards a restaurant called KFC. That is a story that someone has used to market their restaurant. So your story there's so much noise today. Everybody is starting up a brand. You need to stand out. You need to find a story which touches the heart, which touches the emotion of your target audience, so much so that they are compelled to buy there, even if they do not need the product so much, or maybe they are not so interested in the product. You can convince them to start patronizing the product, to follow you based on your story. So you need to be very strategic in the story that you want to put across. That is one thing that psychology does for you as a social media starter. And a third thing is cognitive fluency. This trigger simply means that Your message must be easy to understand. People have very short attention spans these days. So if you are creating a message, it needs to be something that people will understand easily, immediately. It needs to stick. That is cognitive fluency. If you are giving someone a call to action, the person must not struggle to understand it. 30% of this product, bam, the person has understood. You know, and that is a trigger that you should be able to use effectively when you are communicating your brand message. Let's move to the psychology behind consumer behavior or user behavior on social media. Have you noticed that people in the last few years since COVID, actually, it's become very prevalent that people do a lot of comedy, people do a lot of skits, and they are very successful with it. Why? It is because of validation, it is because of identity. Let me use a very simple example. African mothers. We are Africans. Well, for the Africans on this meeting, we are Africans, and we know how African mothers are. When you bring out a skit, when you bring out something about African mothers, many people are able to relate to it. And why will they engage with it? Because we all have African mothers. We all have African mothers who behave in a certain way. You know, that is validation, that is identity. Some people also go on social media because they need information. They want to be informed about something. They want to follow a news, um, a media agency, a media house. Why? Because they need the information. That is another reason people will go online. Another thing is value. They want value. They want value for something. They want to follow a coach. They want a coach to teach them something. A Christian will go on social media, follow a pastor. Why? Because they want to get a certain value from the pastor. And another thing is dopamine. People will just want to go online because dopamine. They want to feel happy. They just want to they want to post something and then they want someone to like the thing. That's another reason. Someone just wants to go online because they want to have fun. And the algorithm leverages on these things. How? Fear of missing out. The algorithm knows that um, people wouldn't want to miss out on something. Let's say Black Friday. And so if there is a Black Friday sale and your content is able to communicate that Black Friday sale effectively, then the algorithm is going to push your content. The algorithm knows that the audience wants good pictures. The algorithm knows that the audience wants um, to have the best products, the best deals communicated in a certain way. Those are the kind of content that the algorithm is going to push. So if you're a startup and you are able to leverage on this, the algorithm is definitely going to push your content. Many of the social media platforms that we have today, their algorithm are machine learning based algorithms. And so they learn consumer behavior. And so they know the things that the consumers need. If you are not able to align with that, your startup, your brand, it's not going to move forward. And another thing is social proof. The algorithm knows that followers, some followers will just follow people because their friends are following, because their family is following, just because they're Christian. They'll follow these people. And so the algorithm is going to push that kind of content, that kind of brand to a certain type of people, or it will just push it if you are, of course, aligned with what the algorithm requires. And the last thing that the algorithm leverages on is reciprocity. One brand that has been able to really use reciprocity is Duolingo. Please, can you all still hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So one brand that has been able to make use of reciprocity is Duolingo. Duolingo. Duolingo, as we all know, has over the past 3 years done a lot of work on their marketing, and they've become very relatable. Duolingo, you go on Twitter and post something about Duolingo, Duolingo would probably come and reply. And that is something that the algorithm will push because you are engaging with your followers. So when you are creating content, you do not just go and um, put the content there. You need to pay attention to your followers, to your audience, because people are going to say things about your brand. You will find out that as like a very serious looking brand, like a school or a bank, they will go and reply to a certain post. And on TikTok, we see that a lot. They will go and reply to a certain post and they will say something funny. And you see that the algorithm will push it to more followers. And that is how they will gain more traction. So, one thing you should not do as a startup is to just go and put your post there. You should ensure that you are engaging with your followers. When your follower leaves a comment on your post, you go, you like it, you reply, you answer with another video, you make them feel valued. When your audience feels valued, they are going to tell other people about it. You know, news travels fast. They are going to tell other people about it. Oh, come and see, oh, this person has replied to my comment and they've made a video about me. It's so funny, it's so relatable, it's so informative. And that is what the algorithm uses to push people's content. Now, we need to understand how to merge psychology and brand the strategy for brand growth on social media. I've already spoken a lot about this, but let me touch on a few things. Storytelling. You need to make sure that when you found your story for your brand, you hammer on it so that it remains in the mind of people. Today, when you say just do it, people remember Nike. People remember Nike because they've hammered on that story. They've hammered on the fact that you just need to go for it. You just need to run. You just need to do this. You know, they've hammered on the rebellious, the go-getter story so much so that people remember it now. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. And when people are giving inspirational messages to people, these are some of the things they use. Just do it. Just do it. And that is one of the ways to be successful on social media, using psychology. Find your story and use it. Another thing is that you need to leverage on user generated content. As a startup, you need to find your people and you need to use your people to reach out to other people. How? You need to know your audience. Know your audience. Know who they are. Are they market women? Are they students? Are they are they children? You need to know who they are and use them in your images. If you have um, a brand, let's say, that sells tomato paste, and you are using children to advertise for a tomato paste brand on social media, I mean, it is possible to be successful in that regard, but the first thing that will come to your mind is, oh, a mother in the kitchen. You know, that is that is the kind of user generated content that you should use. Everything should not just be a flyer. Everything should not just be a font, something nice, something. No, you should try and use people. People love to see the people they can relate to. Oh, I've seen someone like me on TV. I've seen someone like me in this video. That makes people relate with the content. That makes people relate to what you are talking about. Another thing is that you should be visually and emotionally consistent across platforms. You know, if you are building a brand and on Instagram, you are this person, on Facebook, you are another person, on X, you are another person, on TikTok, you are another person. It's very inconsistent. If you are creating a brand, you need to be consistent with your visuals. That's so much so that if I go and look for your name on Instagram, I look for your name on LinkedIn, it should be the same person that comes up, the same person that comes up. You understand? Yeah, so that is what big brands are doing. You want to go and look for Coca-Cola on Instagram, Facebook, and you see different things. You see the same thing, a consistent message, the same pictures, the same fonts. Everything needs to be consistent. We spoke about mere exposure effect. You should leverage of the mere exposure effect. You should be showing up consistently with the right messaging, the right story. Everything needs to be the same. Another thing, the final thing, is to consistently trigger emotions. Not the emotion as in crying or emotions as in laughing. Those are emotions, yes, they are very known emotions. That's true, that people use. But then you should always, your message should touch something in someone in your audience. Your message should touch something in your audience, even when it is something that is a call to action. So, for example, a promotion. You should always have a call to action, constantly have a call to action, constantly reach out to the emotion of your audience. And that is the only way that you're going to trigger them to take an action. You see, so these are some of the things that have made brands, startups on social media successful, reaching out to the subconscious of their target audience. And I'm sure that when you use these things, your brand is also going to be very successful on social media. So I thank you very much for your audience. And Mr. Derick, this was my time. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much, Madam Frederica. It's a pleasure to have had you. I'm sure that everybody here is excited, learning one or two things about personal branding. Make sure to emphasize on your brand story once you've been able to get one. Right on to the next speaker of the day, who is no other person but Mr. Aikins Armstrong, a digital marketing strategist, cybersecurity analyst, and public speaker. Aikins is passionate about leveraging technology for business, growth, and social impact. With over 4 years of experience, he has worked with startups, small, medium enterprises, and multinational companies, helping them craft compelling digital strategies that enhance visibility and drive engagement. As the Chief Operating Officer of KTech Africa and Director for Media and Communication at Studentpreneur Africa Network, Aikins plays a key role in shaping digital narratives that empower young entrepreneurs across the continent. His expertise includes influencer marketing, PR, social media strategies, and e-commerce, successfully leading companies that connect brands with their audiences and drive digital transformation. Beyond marketing, Aikins is deeply involved in youth activism and community development as the president of the Rotara Club of Accra Blue Crest and founder of Gen Z for Change Ghana. He advocates for good governance, youth empowerment, and sustainable development. It's a pleasure to have Mr. Aikins. Today, he'll be talking to us on how young entrepreneurs can leverage digital marketing and branding for success, effective strategies for business growth in the digital space, and of course, the role of digital transformation in shaping Africa's future economy. Do we have Mr. Aikins in the house?
All right. Yes. Chris, yeah. So I hope I'm audible.
We can hear you properly.
I hope I'm audible. Can you hear me now? Can you hear now?
Yes.
Am I
We can
audible?
hear you.
All right, all right, all right. So you see, I almost logged out myself because I said this is no more a conference. It's quite like a TEDx Wakanda because because the speakers that were before me really touched a lot of things that I'll say were on my notes. And if I should say if I really go by what I have here, oh, they've really said a lot. Again, today I'll dive straight in so that we talk about what really matters. Social media, basically. So once again, good evening, my fellow digital warriors. If you can hear me, kindly give me what's the name? A thumbs up. If you can hear me, give me a thumbs up right now. If you can hear me, a thumbs up right now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Kindly give me a thumbs up if you can hear me right now, and leave a comment if you can hear me, yes or no. Right? Thank you very much. So my name is Aikins Kwabena Armstrong. I'm a digital marketer, a cybersecurity analyst, and proudly an African. I'm a dream chaser, basically. I'm honored to be here with you today at the African Digital Conference. Basically, I would wish to actually show my face. Yes, Abraham, thank you. I would wish to actually show my face, but I'm in the office right now and not quite okay. So let's dive right in. Let me start with. I hope you can see the screens. I hope you can see the screens. Let me start with that one first. If you can see, give me a thumbs up or a yes in the comment section. If you can see the screen, give me a thumbs up or a yes in the comment section. A thumbs up or a yes in the comment section. Great. Nancy, thank you there. All right, so let me start with a confession I need to do because yes, Abraham, thank you. Yes, thank you. I need to start with a confession I need to make quickly before we go on. A few years ago, I spent all my last 10 Ghana cedis on data just to post my first business flyer on Instagram. You see, I had no professional design, no ad budget, and I had only 43 followers. 12 of them were family members, and the rest were trying to sell me Bitcoin, basically. And that business was Influencer Hub. If you could all search it up right now, Influencer Hub. It's a social media company, so you could actually search it up right now. Very well, very well, very well. 12 of those were families, and the rest were trying to sell me Bitcoin. But you see, I believe in one thing, and if people could see what I could do, someone would pay for it. You understand me? If people could see what I could do, then someone would definitely pay for it. Fast forward today, I'm here to tell you if I did it, you can also do it, basically. If I, Kwabena Aikins, was able to do it, then you could also do it. In the year 2024, last year, from January to March, I was able to use my iPhone XX Max to make over 20,000 Ghana cedis within 2 months. Within 2 months. Ask me how. I was working with a supermarket, more like a mall in a community in Accra called Oyarefa. So this mall, I was able to make over 20,000 Ghana cedis within 2 months in that particular business. I'll tell you more about it as time goes on. But someone who asks, why digital marketing and branding in Africa at the first place? You see, I don't want to bore you with digital marketing, branding, blah, 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 blah. As we've already heard, we already know what branding is. We already know what digital marketing is. I would not want to go into that too much. But you see, now more than ever, young people of Africa, we are not the future. I would want you to write this down. I would want you to write this down. If you hear me, put a yes in the comment section right now. If you hear me, put a yes in the comment section right now. You see, young people of Africa, we are not the future. We are the now. We are of today. We all do not know what tomorrow holds for us because we are of today. We are now. Someone should put a yes in the comment section. Thank you very much, Abraham. Thank you very much, Abraham. So you see, we are not just the future. We are now. Because we know now, because whatever you do today determines who you are tomorrow. You see, the famous author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert T. Kiyosaki, said something remarkable. He said, a person who is prepared shall prosper no matter the direction of the economy. You understand me? So whether it goes west, it goes south, it goes north, you will still prosper. Are you listening to me? So look at this. Preparedness. When preparedness meets opportunity, that is what? Luck to me. Put this down. When preparedness meets opportunity, that is luck. I would want you to know this, that as Africans, we should be solution oriented. See, listen to this. There are two sides to a coin. There's always problems and there's solutions. There's sickness and there's health. There's riches and there's poverty. And I know you would always want to be on the positive side. So now listen, by the end of today, you are going to really pick a lot from it that I would ask you to always jot things down. If you don't understand anything, put it in the comment section and I'll answer you right now. So with this, Africa, where was I even? So with a smartphone in your hand, you are holding a tool more powerful than any bank loan, more scalable than any shop in the market, and more influential than a billboard in the Times Square. You see, if you are holding a mobile phone today, you are more powerful holding it than in the years ago when people were having billboards and all that. Because with a small mobile phone, you are very, very powerful. Now listen to this. This is one of my quotes that I formerly used to work with, and I can give it to you right now. Someone should write this down. Are you ready? Write this down. Let me see a thumbs up and also a comment in the section. Let me see that you are following me right now. Let me see that right now. 1 minute. Let me see that. 1 minute. Thumbs up, and also thank you. Abraham, you are doing so well. Thank you. So listen to this. We are no longer kept by location. We are empowered by connection. Notice, I want you to write this down. We are no longer kept by location. We are empowered by connections. Listen to me, hear me, someone. Digital marketing isn't just about posting pictures. Digital marketing, I'll come back to explain that we are no longer kept by location. I'll come back and speak about it. Digital marketing isn't just about posting pictures. It is about building trust, visibility, and value. You see, the first speaker spoke about value extensively, so I don't want to even go there. The second speaker also really spoke about value, because what value are you giving to your audience? You understand me? If you do not have something that you are giving to your audience, they will not come every day. You see, one of my favorite mentors, Vuzi Tembekwayo. If you check my feed on Twitter, my feed on Facebook, my feed on Instagram, it is mostly Vuzi Tembekwayo. Why? Because the guy is churning out a certain value. You understand me? And when you are churning such value out, people will always come to you. You are what's the name? A knowledge merchant. Someone should write knowledge merchant. You are a knowledge merchant. Someone should write knowledge merchant in the comment section. Thank you very much. It's about building trust, building value, and visibility. Understand? And branding. We've already talked about that already. I don't want to bore you about it. But then someone will ask, what is branding? Someone will ask, what is branding? Okay, thank you. Is it Temilula? Thank you very much. Someone asked, what is branding? Because we've already spoke about it already. The first speaker has spoken a lot extensively about it. Branding is your reputation before you enter the room. Hear me, someone. Hear me. I'm not feeling your presence right. Listen, branding is your reputation before you enter the room. Let me ask you this. If your brand was a person, would you hang out with it? If your brand was a person, would you hang out with that with you? Put a yes or no in the comment section. If your brand was a person, would you hang out with you? If your brand was so dull, was not professing any value, was not giving anything to your audience, would you hang out with that brand? Put a yes or no in the comment section. Okay, Winniefred, I know. For real, you will. So listen to me. If you had a shiny brand, depending on whatsoever your niche is. Okay, Joshua, thank you. You would always hang out with it because your brand has a certain value that it proposes to people and it fulfills. Now let's move on. Let's move on to this. Still on the branding bit. You see, understanding branding, the heartbeat of your hustle. You see, branding isn't colors, logos, the decorations, the pictures you are seeing. No. The first speaker and the second speaker made us understand into details, especially the second speaker, Winniefred. She made us understand into details what branding is. Really spoke about the comedian in Njiah about it. So branding is the perception, the personality, and the promise. Someone should write this down. It is what? They are the three P's. I call them the three P's. I call them the three P's. Can you write this down? If you are with me, write this down. Branded is a perception, what people think about you, what they think. No, whatever you think, no, whatever they think. The three P's. Thank you very much. The three P's. Your perception, your personality, and and promise. Your personality, what you are about, what you envisage, what you come with. You understand the three P's. The three P's. Thank you very much. Then the promise. You see, you are there to solve a problem. So the promise of solving the problem is the branding at the first place. Ask yourself this. I want you to ask yourself this. What do people feel when you engage with your brand? What do people feel when you engage with your brand? What do people feel when you engage with your brand? What do they feel when you engage with your brand? You see, I have this friend who is, you see, I'm also into politics basically. On Saturday, I was inaugurated and sworn in as the youth model parliament, youth member of parliament for the Ayawaso constituency in Ghana, in Accra basically. And as a young politician, I really believe that you should have a brand, you should have something you represent, you should have something you are about. So there was this guy who came to me, and after the inauguration and swearing in, he came to me that, oh, you know what, I know that I saw a picture of you taking it, wasn't it, with the foreign minister, who is Honorable Okujeto Ablakwa. He asked me if I could introduce him to him so that he went meet him in the office and take pictures. I'm like, okay, take pictures. And I asked him, what is the value? What is the value what is that value you would give to Honorable Okujeto? Why should he waste his time to meet you? Why should he waste his time to actually have a conversation with you? Because the man is a very busy man. Why should a man wait for you, or why should a man meet you at the first place? You see, he could not say anything. That talks about his brand. That talks about who he is and what he is about. Because the guy knows next to nothing about what he is and what he offers. So he just kept quiet and told me that you call me and Charlie, we go talk. I'll be like, because the fact is that you don't know anything. The guy does not know anything about what he's doing. Someone should put a thumbs up for me there. The guy doesn't know anything about what he's doing. He just wants to meet and greet, then take pictures. You see, as a brand, you should be able to stand and represent something. You understand me? Do you stand for quality? Do you stand for hustle? Do you stand for boldness? Do you stand for simplicity? You should be able to stand for something. You understand me? You should be able to stand for something. You see, when it comes to I would always reference Ghana because it is why I'm really sorry and biased about that anyway. When it comes to music in Ghana, when we talk about a quality brand, the first person's name they'll mention is Sarkodie. First person's name they'll mention a quality brand. When it comes to a hustling brand, they'll mention Black Sherif, Black Sherif to you. When it comes to a bold brand, they'll talk about Shatawali. Someone say pa if you're in the house with me. Put pa in the comment section right now. That's for Shatawali. Shatta fans in the house. Also, simplicity. When it comes to simplicity, there's always someone who represents that as well. So, are you a solution-oriented person, or you are just another seller in the digital crowd? You should be able to know who you are. You understand me? There's a lot of noise on the digital space, and there's always solution as well. That's why people would always follow solution and leave the noise. Do you get me? So, what are you? Ask yourself at that point, what are you as an entrepreneur? Because what we are talking about today is about entrepreneurship. What are you? Are you professing solutions, or Esther, I see you, I see you. Or are you professing solution, or you are just another seller on the internet, on the digital crowd? You see, a brand is no longer what we tell people they are. It is no longer what you tell people they are. It is what they tell each other. It is. It is what your audience tell each other your brand is. Notice. I want you to write this down. A brand is no longer what you tell people it is. It is what they tell each other it is. This statement is very profound. So I'll ask you that what? So I'll take it again. I'll take it again so that you can be able to put it down. A brand is no longer what we tell people it is, but then it is what they tell each other it is. Because whatever your audience see your brand is, it is what it is. It is what it is. Going forward, I would implore you all to be what? You all entrepreneurs and also young Africans, digital warriors. I'll ask that you should be real. One, be real. Put this down. Be real. Be real. Be relatable. You see, when it comes to you being real, obviously, sometimes you should be very, very real because telling the story as it is what will buy into it. One of the speakers spoke about emotions. You see, your brand is equal to value plus emotions plus consistency. Do you get me? Oh, do you get me? If you are here, put a yes or no in the comment section. Do you get me? Your brand is one, value plus emotion plus consistency. The value we have spoken about already. Emotion, I believe Frederica spoke about already. Consistency, she also spoke about. So your brand is equal to now we've gone back to we've gone back to the class to learn maths. So brand is equal to value plus emotion plus consistency. When you take one down, it is no more a brand. When you take two down, it is no more a brand. So you are able to what's the name? Present a value, present emotions, and also present consistency. That, my sister and my brother, that is a brand. You see, personal brand examples of such personal brand like Elon Musk, Georgina, Ibrahim. I don't know how many of you know Ibrahim Muhammad. That guy is one hell of a brand because the guy, you will never hear him talk, but he's always doing things. Elon Musk, we all know. Currently, I believe he's the most powerful man on earth. You see, the kind of brand that guy has built for himself, he works with the most powerful people on earth. That is a serious brand that I'll ask you to really emulate. That I'll ask you to really. Okay, digital marketing, turning ideas into income. When I started, I told you about how I turned 10 cities into money, right? And I told you I made 20,000 Ghana cities in 2 months. I'll show you how. So listen to this. So how do you actually leverage? Are you with me? Are you with me? Let me see a thumbs up and also a comment in the comment section, yes or no, if you are with me. All right. So how do we actually leverage digital marketing? Here's my first. Okay. Ibrahim, thank you very much. Here's my
Yes, so
first
we should be
formula.
rounding. We should be rounding up in 3 minutes.
All right. That's fine. Thank you very much. All right. So I'm going to leave you with this. Here's my first formula for African entrepreneurs. Number one, please write it down. Number one, I do not have enough time. So kindly write this fast for me. So number one, focus on your niche. Focus on your niche. Number one, focus. Number one, focus on your niche. Focus on your niche. You can't market to everybody. Be the go-to person in your space. When it comes to what's the name? When it comes to selling of handkerchiefs in your area, in your community, you are the go-to person. When it comes to selling toiletries in your communities, you are the go-to person. When it comes to selling perfumes in your community, you are the go-to person. You should be the go-to person in every space. You understand me? I mean, in your space. You should always niche down to whatever you are doing. Hey, are you with me? Add value. Hey, add value. Are you writing with me? Add value. If you are writing, put a thumbs up there for me. Add value. See, add value before you start asking for money. Teach, entertain, and inspire. Then you can sell. That's one thing most of the people on TikTok do. What they do is that they add value before asking for money. They come and teach you something, then they give you the value. They entertain you a little bit, then they sell to you. They ask for money, and you will pay because Charlie, you love what you're seeing. The F, show up consistently. You see, my two what's the name? Predecessors have just spoke about consistency, so I'll not really spend much time on it. The algorithm is allergic to laziness. So if you are lazy, the digital space is not for you. Gen Z is in the house. Let me see your answer. Gen Z is in the house. Let me see your answer. Gen Z's in the house. Let me see you drop a comment in the comment section. Laziness. The digital space is not for lazy people. People say that we Gen Zs are lazy, but no, we are very hardworking. If you agree with me, let me see a yes in the comment section. I think I have 2 minutes more to go. The T, test and tweak. You see, when it comes to the T, you test. Yes. You test and you tweak. When it comes to testing and tweaking, use your analytics. See, now almost all the social media, what's the name? Apps now have the insights, especially Instagram, the data for you to go and see what you're doing, which age range is following you, who is actually liking your page, the age range, the location, what exactly they are liking. That will help you to tweak your content into what your audience like. Like Frederica said, you should always know your audience before you can always do what sell to them. Now, moving forward, whether it's TikTok, storytelling, email newsletters, or Facebook community building, every digital move should point back to your brand purpose. So, and remember, even memes are marketing. And as the guys, what's the name, selling slippers using Sarkodie's lyrics. One day I saw a guy selling Sarkodie's, what's the name, selling slippers using Sarkodie's lyrics. You understand me? The guy was so good. You understand me? He was so good selling with Sarkodie's lyrics. Now I'm going to leave with this. Mistakes to avoid as a young digital entrepreneur. Mistakes to avoid. Thank you, Abraham. I see you're following. Mistakes to avoid as a young digital entrepreneur. Let me save you some pain. Avoid these classic traps. Number one, copy paste culture. Please be inspired, yes, but be original. Be inspired, yet be original. Number two, is it on the screen? Oh, I didn't add it to this. The mistakes to avoid as young digital entrepreneurs. Copy paste culture. Do not do it. Avoid it totally. Be inspired by what you see on the internet, what you see in the space, but be original. Be yourself. Be who you are. You understand me? Be who you are. Consistent branding. You see, if your flyers look like ransom notes, rebrands, please. You cannot come and show me pictures of your flyer looks like you designed it with what's the name? Paint, Microsoft Paint. I beg you. We do not want that in here. Be consistent with your flyers, the font size, the font itself, the colors, as Frederica spoke about. Be consistent with it. No call to action. Don't post a product and write DM me. Please, don't write that thing. Don't write that thing. Be intentional about what you're doing. Number four, chasing followers over customers. It's like 10 loyal customers. What's the name? Less than 10,000 ghost followers. You understand me? You only have 10 loyal customers, but then you have about 10,000 followers. They are all ghosts, but then only 10 people can buy from you. No, when you are a business, you chase the money. Chase the money. Africans, we like chasing the money. Let's chase the money. You understand? Because we need to develop our people. And please don't ignore your bio. That's your elevator pitch. That what 30 seconds elevator pitch. When someone opens your profile, what they see there at that time is what they will pick away. So do not ignore your bio. That is your elevator, what's the name? Pitch, not a dating profile, of course. So Africa's unique advantage. I'm about to end it. We don't need to act like Silicon Valley. Yes, we don't need to act like Silicon Valley. We do not need to act like Silicon Valley. I beg of you, we do not need to act like Silicon Valley. Yes, I will. I think I did not add the other parts to it. Okay. I got it. All right. So let me bring it down. Weak bios. Spoke about it.
Okay, Mr. Aikins, I think the participants have a couple of questions that you will still answer during the panel session coming up shortly. So they have a lot of questions they'll be asking you. So definitely, when you come up, you talk about some things you weren't able to mention because of time.
if I can say one thing for me to close, I'll end it here. Just a thing, just one sentence, if you permit me, of course.
Yes, please.
All right. So, permit me because of time, I'll not be able to say a lot of things. But then, young Africans or young entrepreneurs here right now, listen to me. You are not here to compete. You are here to create. Listen to me. Listen and listen carefully, please. You are not here to compete. You are here to create. You are here to complete. You get me? Not to compete. So don't just chase the trends. Set them. Don't just post content. Build a movement. Don't just make money. Make impact as well. So my final quote that I'll leave with you is that in the age of internet, your greatest asset is not your capital, it's your consistency. Thank you very much. I'm very grateful. The name is Aikins Kwabena Armstrong. You can reach me on all socials with the name Aikins Kwabena Armstrong or His Excellency Aikins Kwabena Armstrong. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency Aikins Kwabena Armstrong. I hope that I got the name right this time around.
Yes.
I can see a couple of hands up. Please, you will have the opportunity to ask your questions very soon. We are heading to the next speaker of the day, and that will be our last speaker for today, who carries a lot of value for you as well, who is no other person than Mr. George Neba. This is not just any kind of person, unlike every other speaker that we privilege to have at the African Digital Conference. He's a multi-award winning personal brand strategist, digital marketing specialist, and social entrepreneur. George is on a mission to help socially conscious game changers unlock their true potential. So if you're a game changer in the house, get ready to unlock your true potential with Mr. George. As the visionary founder of Brandway Academy, Africa's most coveted online school for personal branding, George has mentored and coached thousands of youths, women, and professionals across Africa. His work focuses on brand clarity, identity, visibility, impact, and monetization, empowering individuals to align with their authentic brand purpose and succeed in business, career, and life. George has been a key contributor to transformative programs such as YALI, Tony Elumelu Foundation, Growth for Her, the Firewedu, Sustainable Team Community, and President Bia's 3-year Special Youth Plan, to name a few. Known for his passion for volunteering, he has served on over 50 missions and was honored as volunteer ambassador by the Nuela Leonga Foundation in 2019. So today we are privileged to have Mr. George during this virtual African Digital Summit. George will be sharing some insights on personal branding, digital visibility, and social impact, showing how branding can be a tool for transformation and peace building in undeserved communities. This will be Mr. George Neba, so you have the floor. Meanwhile, all the participants, please begin to prepare your questions because you are going to ask all your questions. Immediately, Mr. George is going down. Thank you, sir. Mr. George, you're going to check your mic again. We cannot hear you properly. Cannot hear you. So ensure you to unmute yourself.
Please, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. I'm so delighted to be part of this session. I wish to thank the conveners of this session. I have really been impacted by the previous presenters. So I said, let me doff my hat to them. I'm talking about Georgina, Winniefred, and Kwabena. So it's been an honor. I've really learned a lot from their presentations. And it's so important for me to acknowledge that. So let's proceed. So, you can hear me. I want to have a thumbs up, please. Okay, you can hear me? That's fine. Great. Proceed. Now, I want to indicate that because the previous speakers have already mentioned so much about what I'll be doing in my presentation, I'll just go straight. There are many things I will not repeat. There are many things I will not repeat. So I'll just go straight to the point so that we can look at how we can actually use our brand influence, can build authentic brand influence to build a supportive community that can enhance success in our different businesses and careers and build peace across the board. Are we ready? So generally, when we talk of brand influence, when we talk of influence, what is it we are talking about? We are talking about the ability to actually cause a change in the behavior, in the attitude, in the perceptions of people across. In other words, we influence by actually using direct and indirect strategies to make people to adopt a particular philosophy, to buy a particular product, to buy into a particular service, to buy a particular personality, and so on and so forth. And why is that? Because nobody can buy from you unless they know, like, and trust you. There's something called the KLT factor. If they do not know you, they do not like you, they do not trust you, then it becomes difficult for them to buy your product, to buy your service, to buy your philosophy, to buy your campaign, to buy your business idea, and so on and so forth. So how do you build authentic brand influence that you can use for your business success? You can use it for community mobilization. You can use it to promote the culture of peace and harmony in our communities. The first thing is you cannot influence people if you are not clear about who you are, what you stand for, or what you want to be known for. So you need to first of all the first thing is to do an introspective evaluation of yourself. Pass on to your audience. Who are the unique audience you want to target? Why are you doing the things you do? Somebody mentioned about the purpose, because people buy why you do the things you do rather than the products and services you sell or the idea. They want to know the reason behind it. If the reasons do not align with their values and their mission and their vision, or they are not sure that you have positive values to share with them or something that will add value to their brands, to their initiatives, to their communities, then there will be no need to follow you, because there are people who show up with ideas and then they define what they stand for. Later on, you see them engaging, but in something else. So when people start feeling comfortable and confident that what you stand for is what aligns with what they expect or what they also stand for, then you can influence them to adopt what you have to offer. Another way out to build influence is to share your expertise using content, what we call content marketing, because content is king in this game. Share your expertise, share ideas like what we are doing now. The presenters here are sharing their expertise, they are sharing tips, they are sharing valuable insights on how to target specific areas of influence, specific areas of personal branding. So that is exactly what's happening. So the more and more you share content about what you do in your niche, in your industry, using social media platforms that actually have the type of audience you want to target, the easier it is for people to believe you, to have confidence in you, and you can influence them. Now, when you must have defined your target audience, the next thing now is to go look for them where they are. If I want to target Gen Zs who love to discover things, for instance, TikTok would be a typical platform for them. If you want to target politicians or people who want to love short messages, I should go to Twitter. If I want to target people who love reading long content, I should be going to a platform like Medium or maybe Facebook, because Facebook can also go for long and short-term, short form content. So you find the platform where your target audience is. You go there, look for them, and channel your message in a way that resonates with them and also aligns with the core message or the core information you want to pass on to them. And this is why it's always good to define an elevator pitch about the things you do, so that you can use that to consistently position yourself. We've mentioned consistency here several times. As previous speakers talk about consistency, so we know about its importance already. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes. Okay. Now, social media is not a platform where you go and dump information and go your way. No. So you will also need to engage with your audience consistently and authentically in a way that relates to them. If your audience is English, you go and respond in French, they may not understand, for example. If your audience is not, let me say, if you are targeting an audience that is visually impaired and you're using written content, they may not relate with it and things like that. So those are the things you need to take into consideration, but engage with them. When they post, when you post, do a post and there's feedback from them, maybe they've dropped comments, go and reply. And when replying, don't take negative feedback personally, please. Always remain polite and professional and approachable when responding to negative feedback. Feedback will not always be positive. Celebrate members of your community. Celebrate your followers. Celebrate your clients. Celebrate people who buy into your idea. Amplify, that helps to amplify visibility for their work and gives value to it, gives credibility to it. Next, make sure that you collaborate strategically with those that have similar vision, similar mission, similar purpose, like what we are doing now with Tajita institution, the conveners of this training. We share common values, we share common interests, even though we are specialists in different areas. And so we are coming together to form a critical mass to achieve a common goal. And by so doing, people begin to believe in us, they believe in them. We now can share the proceeds, the credibility, the influence, and the visibility together. So look for ways of collaborating with people who have common interests, common values, common objectives in order to build some level of influence that you can use to impact your community. Now, the influence you build, notice that before the advent of social media, each time you talked of branding, people only thought of corporate branding, business branding, company branding, and so on. But in the advent of the social media, the very techniques that those businesses used to build visibility, influence, credibility, and so on around their brands is what we are now expected to use to build visibility around us, so that we can now leverage that for people to know the businesses we have, to know the services we can offer, to know our different countries, our different initiatives, projects, campaigns, and so on and so forth. Now you have some degree of, you've been able to build some degree of influence online, and you are also running other initiatives online. You can now use this influence and the visibility and the eyeballs that you don't have on yourself for people to get to know the businesses or the initiatives you run. In other words, you channel that to let the world know that this is what I stand for. This is the business I'm running. And because people now know you, because they now trust you, and because you can influence them in a given direction, you can influence them to buy from you. You can influence them to like you. You can influence them to trust you, and therefore you can influence them to trust your business, to trust your offer, to trust whatsoever you have to do. And it is only then that you can say you've used the level of influence you've built to be able to project, improve, and upgrade your business offers. Otherwise, you would need to spend so much money to look for people who would advertise your business, and they may not even know the face behind it. When you are not constantly building your brand influence, people do not know the face behind the initiative. And so it becomes difficult to buy. That's why you see, if you go like to someone like Tony Elumelu, if you go to his Facebook page, you'll see that many more people follow him, Tony Elumelu, than they follow Tony Elumelu Foundation. Why? Because he is the face behind the foundation. But they want to know the face behind the business. And that's the same philosophy that renowned brands use to invite celebrities to come and advertise their products and services. When you use somebody like Samuel Etofis to advertise, say, MTN Cameroon, those whose personality aligns with that of Samuel Etofis will want to go buy from MTN or subscribe to MTN because they know that Etofis is the face behind the brand. So that's it. And like our previous presenters indicated, the mere familiarity effect, the mere fact that you are already familiar with Samuel Etofis, you now want to use that opportunity to go buy from Samuel Etofis. Because if somebody who stands as the face of the brand is not familiar, it becomes difficult for you to trust them, to believe in them, because you cannot identify with them. And to conclude now, we look at how we can build harmony and peace through our different communities. The first thing is understand that when you're on the social media streets, there are people who come there with different opinions, different experience. They have been through different experiences. Even the experiences that they've been through, if they are similar with the ones that you've been through, those they go home with different lessons. Even when all of us go through the same experiences, we derive different lessons from those experiences. People went to different schools, they attend different churches, they belong to different backgrounds and cultures and so on. So you need to understand that people come online with different moods, different intentions, different interests. So sometimes feedback will not be positive, but you need to be tolerant with people. You need to seek to understand, ask questions and seek to understand rather than just reading comments or interacting with people because you just want to pass across a message or you want to talk to people rather than talk with them. Interact with people in a way that is respectful and polite, even to those that are not respectful or polite to you. Your social media platforms from the social media platforms of your businesses, and avoid commenting using your business social media platforms to comment on other people's platforms as if it's you. No, you need to know the difference between using your personal social media platforms to make comments or posts and using your other platforms, business platforms or service platforms or campaign platforms to comment. Clean up your social media platforms. Let people get to believe that the person who is working on this, who is on this social media platform, is a genuine individual. Put on a profile picture, update your profiles, have a consistent message tagline, upgrade, let people know the communities, the schools you've attended, and so on. The message you want to pass across, the value you bring right from your profile. People should be able to know that. No hide and seek. Because that's how it starts creating a form of rapport between you and your audience. When people land on your social media platforms, the first things they see are your profile picture and the information around it. And they develop their impressions about you before they can now decide whether they should continue engaging with you. Also build harmony online by being transparent and be vulnerable when necessary. Share your story, share the lessons you've learned, the challenges you faced, the mistakes you made. And if you've hurt somebody, feel free to apologize and make good the situation rather than trying to justify and make it look like their opinions do not count. When we talk of authenticity, we are not saying that you can never make mistakes, never go through challenges. We are not saying that you can never fail. No. So you need to be conscious about things like that. Be conscious about other people's cultures. Be conscious about other people's businesses. Avoid bad-mouthing other people's businesses. Avoid insulting other people's cultures. It is not everything online you comment about, or you comment on, or you make or you express an opinion on. There are things you can see and just pass away. There are areas that if you do not have specific knowledge or expertise, just scroll and pass. Issues related to religion, politics, gender, ethnicity, sexology, and so on and so forth. Be careful. Unfollow pages that you do not align with your values. Unfollow them, because the more you follow them and you go comment, the algorithms will pick that and think that you like those type of pages, and they will keep bringing up content from those pages and pushing you, because each time you see information about those pages that is contrary to the things you stand for, the tendency is that you want to go and start arguing with them before you realize your mental health, your time, your data, energy has been drained. And this partially radicalizes you before you realize yourself. So you need to be very, very careful. Radicalization is not only when you must have picked guns or an instrument to go hit somebody physically. It starts gradually psychologically. And before you realize it, you are gone. So you need to be careful. Unfollow those type of pages and rather intentionally follow pages that align with the type of things you want to stand for. So you need to know that. Be consistent so that when somebody goes through your social media, we've spoken about this over and over. When somebody goes through your social media platforms, they can know exactly what you stand for. So that even if somebody fidgets with your account, sometimes hackers fidget with your account. Somebody fidgets with your account and posts even something that's contrary to what you stand for. People will know that somebody has surely fidgeted with your account. But when you are not consistent, you're incoherent, you appear doubtful, people will also wonder whether you are the one. And lastly, protect your digital assets. Use strong passwords Use strong passwords to sign into your platforms. And a strong password is made of at least 8 digits. And it should have an alphanumeric character with some special case characters. And the alphanumeric character and the letters should have at least 1 capital letter and at least 1 small letter. If you do not protect your digital, avoid clicking on links anyhow, because those links, especially those ones that bring free offers, they can lead you to a hacker's portal, and they would hack your account. And once, imagine all the effort, energy you've put in to build your digital resources, digital assets, and somebody comes and hacks it. It will give you a lot of pain, leave you in a lot of trauma, and depress you. Avoid comparing with people. Everyone has their lane. Everyone has their day. If you're comparing with people, you will see that somebody is in their harvesting season. Meanwhile, you are still in your planting season. And because they are in their harvesting season, you may be tempted to take your seed and eat it. And once you must have eaten, they will keep harvesting from their harvesting season, and you'll not have a harvest during your own harvest season, and it will further plunge you into depression. So I'll conclude by saying that authenticity does not mean building authentic influence for your business community success. It does not mean manipulating with people. It's about genuine connections, genuine interactions with others. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you so much, Mr. George. I'm pretty sure that everybody was taking notes like me. And go back to the very first thing Mr. George said. You cannot influence people if you are not clear about who you are, what you stand for, and what value proposition you are bringing to them. Mr. Aikins said you should add value before you demand for money. That said, it is time for our panel discussion, and we're quickly going to spotlight the different speakers. I'm sure the participants, you have questions for the different speakers. And for your questions, please kindly drop them on the chat area. I saw a couple of some people who raised up their hands. We're going to unmute your mics immediately after one or two of our speakers are able to respond to some questions that we have for them, especially because this was a power-packed session. And really quick, Mr. George, I have a question for you before you sit down. I'm sure that unlike every other person, they will have some of these questions pondering through their minds to ask.
That's fine.
Please drop your questions on the chat area already. Okay, Mr. George, I want to ask you this question real quick because I had to take it down but when you were talking so that we can have some clarity on it.
That's fine. Letting you. Hello? Derick?
Okay. Mr. George, I want you to tell us how can branding go beyond business strategy and serve as a tool for social transformation in undeserved communities? And can you share an example where branding has helped foster unity or positive change? I know that you are somebody who has a wealth of knowledge in this area, so you could better help us stand out in undeserved communities.
Yes. Underserved communities, please.
Underserved communities, please. Underserved communities.
Yes. So for first of all, let me just talk about underserved communities. Another way of calling underserved communities are underprivileged communities. And when we talk of underprivileged communities, sometimes we talk of the vulnerable, the disabled, and things like that. So, or people living with disabilities and things like that. So those are the type of communities we are talking about. Now, let me take the example of someone here in Cameroon called Achaleke Christian. I don't know whether there's anybody here who has not heard about Achaleke Christian Leke, but I believe that he's a household name when it comes to peace building and when it comes to socio-professional integration of people in underserved communities. This is a gentleman in Cameroon who has stood out to be the go-to person when it comes to rehabilitation of individuals in communities like prisons, ex-convicts, victims of war, survivors of war, ex-fighters, and so on and so forth. But this is a gentleman who himself used to be a pickpocket. Are you seeing? But he picked up that experience, transformed it, became a change ambassador, and has built a brand around that aspect in a way that he is solicited across the globe. So this is an example of somebody who comes from a very rascally community in Fiango Kumba. It's a community here in Cameroon called Fiango Kumba, who used to be, in a ghetto. This type of person who was like, who has grown up to accept his brand story, his story, where he's coming from, his origin story, and has transformed that and is using that to influence others, to transform them and make them better persons in society. He runs a program in prison, and one of those programs has been able to rehabilitate, for instance, an ex-convict who spent 16 years in prison, but now has a skill on how to do footwears, do traditional footwears, traditional bags, traditional attires, and behold, that gentleman is able to earn a living, is peaceful with his family and his community. That's a typical example of how personal branding has been able to help someone like Achaleke to get to where he is. This is somebody who has been invited by the Queen of England, King of England. He's currently the AU ambassador for Africa when it comes to peace building, conflict resolution, and so on and so forth. Highly solicited. This is how somebody from a community that was not recognized like the usual conventional communities, like some of us who grew up maybe in urban settings and so on. This is somebody who has transformed the story to becoming a source of positive influence. So one of the things Achaleke usually shares with us is that when he goes back to his community, say in Kumba, he still communicates with them, even in local parlance, he still communicates with them in a manner that is relatable, but they now look up to him as a source of positive influence. And many fighters, many former fighters and many fighters have actually dropped their weapons thanks to the positive influence in now creating this community. And this happens across Africa.
Thank you, sir. George, I think that you've already answered the question majorly, but I just want to touch this before I switch it up to the other speakers. Please give it the way it is, just the points, and what are some of the biggest obstacles that communities face when trying to build a recognizable, impactful brand. How can entrepreneurs and organizations navigate these challenges to create a brand that uplifts and empowers? So just the major points, please, so that we can have other speakers in the house express themselves.
Okay. The major challenges that communities face in trying to build an impactful brand for that community or for businesses. Sorry.
Yes, generally.
Okay. The first thing we need to understand is that this whole concept of personal branding is new to most of us. In fact, about 90 to 95% of those that I talk to, each time when I mention personal branding, they don't understand what it is. They are always confused between whether it's corporate, but they're talking more about their business or an initiative. So there are so many people in communities that do not understand that they are a brand. So each time we talk of personal branding, personal brand, they are looking but at someone else, rather than looking at themselves, holding themselves accountable, finding the need to stand for a cause, define themselves, and so on. Another thing too is copy and paste. People want to copy. And so it's making us to lose our identity, our originality, the very core of our being. We have unique stories that we can be telling about ourselves, but we want to copy what others are doing because we think that what they are doing is more sellable or more important than what we have. And it is making us to lose our self-esteem, self-confidence, self-identity, and so on and so forth. Meanwhile, we are a rainbow community. We have unique stories to tell, unique experiences, unique skills, unique knowledge and talents, and so on and so forth. That's one of them. Another change, because people come from different backgrounds, they see things differently. Some people still have this misconception that personal branding means showing off. No, it's rather about showing up consistently in a way that makes you distinct and relevant to your community. And until you get it from that standpoint, when you get up in the morning and you snap a picture about yourself and post online, maybe a picture of about your hairstyle and post online, at the end of the day, the question will be, how important is that to your community? How important the comments you make? How important a post you make? How coherent, how consistent are they? How do they make you distinct from all others? How does it add value to that community? Until you answer these questions and many more, you will not be able to know exactly how to use the assets, the value you have in you to impact your community. Let me end here for now.
Thank you, sir. This goes to His Excellency Armstrong. Sir, we want you to tell us in what ways is digital transformation reshaping Africa's economy, and what sectors do you see benefiting the most? How can entrepreneurs and startups position themselves to be at the forefront of this shift? Real quick.
All right, thank you very much. So I would like to first of all get the first question correct. Kindly come again the first question before the second one.
Yes, in what ways is digital transformation reshaping Africa's economy, and what sectors do you see benefiting the most?
All right, you see, I don't know if you've been hearing from news from Ghana recently. If you pay attention that much, you hear the former vice president always talk about digitalization and what it will make for Ghanaians as a whole. Very soon, you would see how much digital currencies are also going to make Ghanaians and also some other Africans very rich. I will not want to bore you with the details, but then I'll say a few things. Due to digitalization, learning now, you don't need to be at in classroom in order to learn. Formerly, in our African classrooms, you need to be in a class before you can learn. Now, if not for digitalization, we will not be able to be having this conversation as we are having right now. Like, probably I will need to travel down to where you are in order to have this conversation. So due to digitalization, we are actually able to meet and talk. It has brought us closer and be able to make us to be able to buy and sell as and when we want on the internet. That in its own way is a good thing for our economy itself. I don't know if you've heard of PAPS, the Pan-African Payment System. So now it is about to happen that very soon Africans will be able to trade among themselves in their own currencies. You know that Africans are not able to trade amongst themselves because we are still using the dollar and using other people's currencies. We are not able to trade amongst ourselves. If we need to trade amongst ourselves, we need to send the products to another person elsewhere before they're able to bring it to us, and all the revenue does not come to us as it's supposed to. Now listen, with the introduction of PAPS, it is actually going to make it very possible for Africans be able to buy. If I'm buying something from Nigeria, I'm buying. That should tell you that the revenue for everything goes back to Nigeria. It stays in Africa, stays in Africa. If someone is buying something from Ghana, buying it in and you stay in Ghana, that in itself is one major way of this being typically better as you said. Second question, please.
Yes, the second question is how can entrepreneurs and startups position themselves to be at the forefront of this shift?
All right, thank you very much. First of all, I said when I was making my application, I said Robert Kiki was something remarkable. He said the person who is prepared shall prosper no matter the direction of the economy. Whether Africa is poor or not, whether the country is going whether we are war, just like Ukraine, you shall prosper. I should tell you that if you are at a point, you will always prosper. You see, I define luck as what's the name? When preparedness meets opportunity. That's what we refer to as luck. When preparedness meets opportunity. So in this case, when you are ready, always ready for it, standard yourself ready. See, people that were ready for the digital space in 2020 when COVID-19 struck currently are millionaires because they position themselves right. They position themselves right with the right tools and with the right mentality and with the right skills. So therefore, currently you need soft skills in order to be able to get there. See, very soon it is going to happen that iPhone will no longer sell. I mean, intelligence quotient will no longer sell because the AI bots and the AI machine learning and all of that will be able to work with that intelligent quotient. Now then, that human touch, that emotional quotient, that EQ, which we humans do have, and nothing else on earth do have, is what you should need in order to be able to prosper going forward. So you will need to also have emotional intelligence in order for you to prosper as things are. There are lots that I would be willing to put out as time permits me. But then, if we should go on, I think we should ask for the next question or move to the next question because
Thank you.
I think
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. This goes to Madam Georgina. I hope she's here. During your presentation, you shared that your brand is your promise and that your story is your proof. We want you to tell us what types of stories work best for personal branding. Real quick, please. Do we have Miss Georgina in the house? Okay. That said, I think Miss Georgina is a little bit away where she's having some technical issues. And I see that we have a couple of some participants who showed up their hands. We have Abraham Akindoye, who is struggling to ask a question. Please, can you unmute yourself and ask your question now?
Hello, sir. Can you hear me? Hello? Can anyone hear me?
Yes, we
Yes,
can
we
hear
can
you,
hear
please.
All right. Thank you so much for this session. It's really insightful and very educative. I do appreciate. Please, I want to ask if we can get the presentations from the facilitators. I was not able to actually pick some vital and valuable points, which I would appreciate if we can if we can get it from the facilitators. And also, when Mr. Aikins was giving his own talk or training session, he talked about how he was able to earn a huge sum of money using his smartphone, but due to time constraints, he was unable to tell us that part again. So I don't know if in few minutes, maybe a minute or two, he would be able to quickly just.
All right, Mr. Derick, can I go with that?
Yes, Mr. Aikins, please.
So, I don't know your name. Is it George? Name, please. The person who has asked the question, kindly mention him for me.
The person who asked the question is Abraham, please. Abraham.
Abraham. Okay, Abraham. Yes. In 2024, that was when I made that, and I'll tell you how it happened. I had some small skills, basic skills. I have a certificate from Google, which is the digital marketing and e-commerce certificate, and I learned a lot from there. But then I had to make it practical. What I walked into the shop and I asked them, you see, your shop, you are making sales, but then you're not making the right sales. I can help you meet the right audience for this particular amount of token. I could take videos and also edit them. I could actually create content, basically. Create content, make it very nice with just my iPhone, wasn't an XS Max. And I could do all that. Your social media for you for a particular fee. But then first of all, for the content creation, you would always pay for the content creation. For the social media management, you should also pay me monthly for it. It's a monthly subscription. If you pay before the month begins, that's how come I started making money for it in 2024, basically. And you see, 10 customers. And you see, one day, they told me, and I add this money because some of them were there was one client I got, it was a mall. So that mall was paying me about 5,000 per month for what I was doing. And there were other clients also I got. All I need to do was use my phone to shoot content, edit them using what's the name, CapCut and other editing tools. Get better content around it. Don't just post. As I said, you don't just post. I study the data as well. So that's basically what I did. And there are lots I could teach you if you would want to learn. So kindly DM me on, reach out to me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere, and we'll talk about it. Thank you very much.
Great. From Sir Aikins. I'm pretty sure that everybody up to this time has learned a whole lot. Please check the chat. Make sure you fill the attendance forms before you leave. As we wrap up day 3 of the African Digital Conference, I want to take a moment to acknowledge the incredible insights and collaborations. Do well to connect with all the speakers. Check your WhatsApp forum to integrate the networking forum so that you can be able to share contacts with other participants and, of course, every speaker of this event. More is yet to come your way. And as we continue tomorrow, I want to say a huge thank you to our speakers, panelists, organizers, and of course, all of you who participated with enthusiasm, curiosity, and of course, a commitment to growth. In fact, I can't wait to see what this conference will be able to bring your way as far as results are concerned from everything you will learn from here. As for the recorded sessions, Abraham, the Tatita Group Foundation is going to see into that. So you people will be notified about the availability of every session that we've had. So in the days ahead, so just stay consistent so that you don't miss out on any updates as far as the materials are concerned. Thank you so much. And we call it a day here. God bless you all.